I think I'm good. Oh, we're live. Beautiful. Hello, and welcome to Goats and Dragons, the stream where Helpful Goat Gaming plays Dungeons and Dragons, a game of shared storytelling where I try to kill my friends. I'm Andrew Gilbert, the benevolent dictator of Helpful Goat Gaming, but tonight, I'm your friendly neighborhood dungeon master. And I'm not alone. With me, as always, is the unbenevolent dictator of Helpful Goat, Galway, playing the tiefling sorcerer Charity.
I got better.
Yes, you did. Adam, playing the halfling rogue. You know him. You love him. Barbage Kemp.
Oh my god, it's been so long, but here we are. Let's do it.
I love the energy.
Now recording.
Sorry, everyone.
Now recording. Playing the Goliath Barb. Should I do that again? I forget, do we need these for the podcast?
I mean, it's all good.
Clearly, the 3 months off have done nothing to affect our technical expertise with this.
Yep. Lena, playing the Goliath Barbarian Stormbringer.
Hi.
And Darcy, playing the Tiefling Cleric Hikari.
Hi. I just remembered that I didn't prepare a song for tonight. Damn it.
That Hikari. Awesome. Anyway, yes, there's probably going to be some spoilers in tonight's episode if you are not entirely caught up on the podcast, though that gap has shrunk quite considerably, so that we're not too far behind in what's going on, and that's fun.
Yeah, and I should say, if anybody is listening or listens to this in the future and wants to be like totally up to date so that they can like listen to the stream, we can probably arrange for that going forward. Like, we're stuck with like releasing the podcast episodes like on a schedule, but if you would listen to the Twitch stream, if you were all caught up on even the unreleased episodes, like, we could probably get you hooked up, you know what I mean?
And I think we publish on YouTube a lot quicker with these.
Totally.
So
they're always available on YouTube, but even if you wanted like the polished edited podcast episodes, hit us up and I can hook you up. You know what I mean?
Oh, we get you. We get you. I'm going to answer for everyone. That's it. Yeah, so you are listening to the podcast right now, Goats and Dragons. We have a second podcast called Helpful Goat Gaming Presents, where we play smaller campaigns of D&D, as well as trying out some new stuff. October was filled with a whole bunch of like one-shots that were kind of spooky. And we're also doing a couple of behind-the-scenes things where you can kind of get to know us a little bit better. All kinds of cool and interesting stuff over there. If you just want some more of us and our friends playing games, check that out. That is Helpful Goat Gaming Presents. And right now we just started a medium-length kind of shortish campaign that Galway is the DM for, called Tear Behind the Door.
Beyond.
No, I did. I wrote Beyond. Oh, damn it. I said behind. Why did I say behind?
Good energy, though. Good energy.
Beyond the door. Because we're not behind it. We're beyond it at this point. Anyway. And that's a fun one. And that's Galway is the DM. And it's me, Lena, our good friend TJ, and our friend Chris, who are playing in that. And that already, we're only one episode in, and that's super fun. So you can check that out on that other podcast. Thanks also to Chaos Nest for the art for Campaign B. That is super fun. It shows the whole party in front of a very frozen and cold Vimeris. Sad. And that artist's name is Jonah, and they are just pretty amazing. And by the way, incredible prices if you're looking for a Christmas gift. Jonah does some really, really amazing work. Pretty on the cheap. And We are affiliate on Twitch, which means you're able to cheer and subscribe to us. And as a reminder, anyone who has Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free through Twitch Prime. It's super easy to get that link and get that set up and link those accounts. And thank you so much to anyone who follows the channel. We really, really appreciate the support. And if you like what you're seeing, tell your friends. Tweet us, talk to us in Twitch. Someone's rolling dice already. We are.
I'm trying to remember what my things are.
You're good. We are technically recording a podcast during this, but it's edited in the podcast version, so we can definitely take time to say hi if you want to say hi in Twitch and stuff. Yeah. Is that all the announcements? Everyone else feeling?
I think we should say for the record explicitly for both stream and the podcast that we have not played Fates of Rin in 3 months, over 3 months. So take that into account.
Yeah.
Like in the podcast, it'll just like a week will go by between episodes. But for us, a lot of time has passed. And so, yeah.
A lot of time, and for some of us, 3 campaigns? 4?
Yeah. Other campaigns that we've played. So we might be a bit rusty, but it'll be fun. I'm excited.
Super excited.
Charity had a deep, growly voice and always referred to himself as Charity, right? No, that was the other one.
Yeah,
definitely.
No,
the fuck.
Well, hey, with that, let's begin tonight's episode of Goats and Dragons.
Ba-ba-dum. Bum, 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 ba-ba-dum, bum, ba-bum, ba. Oh, I missed this. Oh, ba-ba-dum.
You didn't forget everything.
Hey.
It stopped. Previously on Goats and Dragons, The Fates of Rin. The town of Cliffmill. Sleepy town that is considered one of the shorter folk-like towns in the area. Was recently inhabited by a really bad kitty named Shenik, who seemed to enslave the people of the town as he was gaining power and information in his makeshift headquarters, the mayor's house. When the party had arrived, not too long ago, there was a boat already in the harbor. This boat was captained by one Crotch the Sticky. An unfortunate name, but up until recently believed to be just a fairy tale, something you tell children to make them go to sleep at night. Crotch the Sticky will come for you and bite your toes, they would say, or something like that. However, that was not all that was in the town waiting for the group as they arrived. As the group disembarked from their boat and was heading to the Bushy Tent Pole, the local tavern, they were attacked. Swiftly, ruthlessly. And the ambush got the better of them for the moment, as Charity had fallen, and his body taken from the rest of the group. The rest of them, Burbage, Stormbringer, Hikari, were able to steel themselves against the encroaching horrible emotions that this town has already brought up in them. And combining with the forces of Crotch the Sticky and a beautiful elven woman named Aideen Greygust, the group soldiered forth, went into the mayor's headquarters, and eventually found Charity again. Luckily, Hikari was able to bring him back to life, and Hikari was able to cast a spell on the town that immediately, and by the sound of it, somewhat horrifically, forced Shenik from the town itself. As Charity has regained a bit more of his faculties, and the group has now settled down from the intense emotions and fight that had occurred, there is something lingering in the back of each of your heads, and that is that Shenik is still out there somewhere. And as the snow has started to fall over the last few days, covering the town completely in a very quiet whiteness, there's something approaching on the horizon that you just feel. It's like a storm that you can't quite see yet. And you look up to the spire in the middle of town, and this very small, dark figure at the very top of it. You know that there's still a decent way to go before you can fully rest. But until that point, in what relative comfort you can have in the bushy tent pole and the adjoining rooms at the top, life is, for a moment, somewhat calm. And you see the townsfolk seemingly preparing for a festival of some sort. There are large streaming ribbons tied to the corners of every house. Most of the residents have started to wear greens and yellows as they've entered the bushy tent pole. The songs have started to become a bit happier and calmer. So now it's been about a week since you were able to get Charity back. Charity, you have now fully recovered. You've just been weak the last few days. You've been just recovering as much as you can, and this is kind of the first day you feel back to 100%. An old friend of yours, Aideen, has been basically at your side the entire time, along with Stormbringer, of course, who is very upset when any of you leave her sight anymore. And each day, Hikari has been casting that same spell that has repelled Shenik. You don't know if he's tried to get back in, or if what he's doing at all, but certainly you do feel incredibly safe with her very powerful magic just under your feet.
So we haven't smelled any burning cat fur.
You haven't smelled any burning cat fur. So, now, what is it that each of you would like to do? Or talk about? Or know? The world is yours.
I would just like to point out that the group maybe has noticed that since Charity's been back, Hikari's been more subdued and kind of like in her head a bit, just not as maybe, outgoing as she usually is. So
Has she frequented the tavern a lot?
Yeah.
Or has she stopped drinking a bit, or is it more of a solemn drinking that she's doing now?
More of a solemn.
I see. Interesting.
Solemn drinking? That doesn't sound
Always
very
a good
fun.
sign.
What?
Always a good sign.
Always a good sign. I asked this in Discord. I might as well just ask on stream. So, but between the Hikari's had many lives, right?
Yeah.
S-
And sorry, go ahead. I just answered your question on Discord.
Okay, so in total, it sounds like you looked it up. She's like 3,700 years old.
Yeah, because
That's a
yeah,
guesstimate. Yeah.
I'm like probably in my mid to late 20s in this life, but you know, in other lives I might have been killed or died younger or older. But I'm assuming I never probably get in my lives above like late 30s to 40s, just because I live so hard.
Often,
Probably, I don't know.
Yeah, often not. Your last one, Hikari, you were probably closer to 50.
Ooh.
And then yeah, you're at this point, yeah, the early 20s probably.
Cool. Just curious. No reason. This isn't going to come back at some point.
All right.
Probably in 5 or 10 minutes.
Sounds very unsuspicious.
I'm just picturing Burbage producing a birthday cake that has in fact consumed the town with a bonfire. I'm pretty sure I got all 3,700 candles on it, guys. I mean, when Charity looks at you and goes, "That's too much fire," it's too much fucking fire.
That is not what Burbage has been doing.
But is it now? Was it good enough that it is now? I want that to be the trace. Anyway.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to make a huge fucking cake.
See if Charity remembers your birthday.
Andy, were you going to say something?
No, go ahead.
No, if you have something, please take the lead.
I do have a couple of things to answer. What would Charity be doing?
Good. Yeah, you go.
That's
you
fine.
go.
Yeah, go for it, Charity.
Preferably somewhat quietly, and actually, I'd meant to sort of message you this beforehand, Andy, but now that we're here, we can just go with this. He might have even sent Aideen to do it a little bit. Charity would have seen if there were any craftsmen in town who could have produced another sigil.
In town, and there's still a lot of like kind of merchants and craftsmen that are staying on the outskirts of town as well.
So he would want one that linked into the original 4, essentially, and with like the same enchantment on it, etc. And I think the first time the 4 of them were like 320 normally, and then we put them on rush order from the French elves. Yeah. So it became 400. So he would probably be paying about 100, and if that could have been being made over like even the last few days.
Absolutely, yeah. So could you describe what's the sigil now look like?
So the sigil is 4 hands, colored, and they sort of connect as if they were all laid down to form a square, joined together. And that was the sigil of the family that Charity had produced as a mark of Vimeris Burbage Stormbringer and his connection just before they left Federo? Yeah, Federo. So. Sorry, I built an entire world since the last time we played this, so I've got a lot of place names in my head. And that's always been a useful tool for them, and to him has always been a sign of... This is more of an expositional dump than an acted one, so I'm sorry.
It's good.
A sign of something that when he had them made, he wasn't quite sure what it was. And he feels like since he was brought back, he's getting sure about what this means.
Interesting.
And so I probably I would have tried to do that, and I remember the outrageously French elves told us it was going to take like 3 days, I think. So I might have, as soon as I was well enough, I might have sent Aideen out to contract with someone that seemed reliable to have done that. So it might be getting done somewhere in here. And now that I feel well enough, I might head to the same tattoo parlor where he got his back panel tattoo.
Yes.
Which is the family sigil of the hands, with then a symbol representing each of the members, which, again, exposition and catch-up, he got upon Vimeris dying.
Yeah. Excellent.
I mean, you can't go to the tattoo parlor alone, though. We all have to go, right? That's the rules now.
I'm pretty sure I can go with Aideen and we won't die.
Don't worry,
Charity.
love. I'll look after him.
No.
He's fine.
But
No.
But don't you need to look?
No. We all go everywhere. Where's Burbage?
Right now, talking to Missy behind the bar.
This really feels more like your obsession than mine, so feels like you should know.
We all go everywhere together now, Charity. Stormbringer has
Yeah.
been spending the nights watching the party sleep, and it's unclear how much she's sleeping. And has required Burbage, Hikari, Charity, and Stormbringer to all share a room for ease of watching sleep.
Hikari and Burbage probably notice this more than anyone else, but the looks that Aideen has been giving Stormbringer have reminded you of, like, looks like a girlfriend like gives a mother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
A girlfriend gives a
Yeah.
mother?
yeah.
What does
like,
that mean?
Whose mother?
I was going to say, you might have needed to have filled in more pronouns or, like, nouns in that.
Perhaps,
Yeah.
yes. As if Aideen is also trying to take care of Charity, and, like, she thinks it's kind of her job a little bit now, but Stormbringer's, like, just being a very much of a mother bear about the whole thing. You've noticed Aideen giving her those kinds of looks.
You mean kind of like a girlfriend would look at, like, maybe a mother-in-law?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
There were some of
Okay.
the words that might have gone there. I'd also say in
Yeah.
Stormbringer's case, though, one might want to emphasize the bear.
indeed. Beautiful. Yeah, Charity, you and Nadine, and Stormbringer's been basically following everyone around and really getting on everyone to be together, and yeah, very good.
Oh, so are you saying that we all have to go with Charity to go get this tattoo?
You really don't.
We all have to go everywhere, Charity, now.
All right, okay. Now listen, all right. I'm behind the bar right now with Missy.
Yeah.
All right. I think that we can all go with Charity to get the tattoo, but let's make it the last time that we all have to go somewhere together. Maybe the time after that one of us goes somewhere, we can make it sort of a solo thing. How about that?
No, Burbage. Charity died. I don't want you dying too, or Hikari.
Sure.
We have to all stay together, because I have to keep you all safe from now on.
That is
okay?
a very good point. Charity did die. It was very draining. It was emotionally exhausting for us.
It was a week ago.
It was a week ago.
I'm so
Not
sorry to
over
have
3 months ago.
I'm so sorry to have imposed.
It's all right, Charity. Nobody blames you.
No, I blame me.
Right. Stormbringer does blame herself, which is something that we're going to have to sort of pay attention to going forward. I do. Okay. How about everybody? All right. Everyone come over here to the bar. All right. This is a family meeting. Hikari, you're at the end of the bar over there. Come scooch down a few seats. All right.
Hi, Scoot.
You scooch?
Huge.
Yep.
Alright.
All right. All right. Stormbringer, Charity, good. Okay. Before we go join Charity on his little tattoo adventure.
This again feels highly unnecessary.
You died.
You know, I think we're just going to have to take our time getting Stormbringer to a point where she feels comfortable, not making us all sleep in the same bed, and her staying up all night watching us. It's very...
The staring has been startling when I wake up in the night, yes.
Yeah.
I have to make sure you're okay.
No,
You
I
don't
understand.
blink.
Yeah, you don't blink as much as you should. I've been meaning to bring this up to you since I met you, Stormbringer. You blink about 40% less than most people do. Have you ever thought about that?
No?
Yeah, blink more. That's one thing. We'll deal with all the grief and shame and self-judgment later. First, I want to present to each of you your own special drink. That's right. I've been learning from Missy how to bartend. What do you think about that? Huh?
Missy bows real low.
Yeah, Missy's great. Missy, a great bartender. I can only assume you're going to be the bartender here for the rest of your life, Missy. Is that right?
She frowns a slight
Wait.
bit and kind of looks
Wait
off
a-
in the distance. And
Way to cap her vertical mobility. Jesus.
Oh, well, based on her reaction just now, maybe that's not the case. Anyway, I've been learning how to mix drinks, and I say we all celebrate being alive together and get Charity loosened up before we go and get him this weird tattoo he's been talking about.
I think maybe alcohol's a blood thinner? I think you're not supposed to drink before getting tattoos or piercings.
That would be correct based on what they told me last time.
Well, we'll figure it out. All right, Charity, here's your drink.
This feels like this is endangering my safety more than just going there with Aideen.
That's okay, we'll figure it out. All right, this is your drink. I call it a Long Island Iced Charity. All right? And Burbage pulls out a glass and a jug of milk. Just regular milk. It's not pancake milk. I know what you're thinking. This is cow milk. All right.
Charity is going to very directly look at Missy for confirmation of this fact.
she nods.
I'm going to pour some into the glass. What you can't tell, because you're not feeling the jug of milk, is that it's a bit warm. This is a glass of warm milk, Charity. Now I'm just going to add some vodka. I pour some vodka into it. And then I'm going to... And I pull out... Andy, what would be the best way to do what I want to do right now?
I don't know what you want to do right
I
now.
was gonna say, did you confer with each other beforehand, or is this really putting Andy on the spot?
I told Andy while playing Rocket League what I want to do. Basically, it's a glass of warm milk with some vodka, and then I set it on fire.
Yeah, you have a tinderbox that you like spark a few times, and then it goes.
Vodka's not of sufficient proof to ignite,
Yeah, well,
This vodka is.
especially when mixed with milk.
it's on the surface of the milk.
Somewhere Squirm is like shaking his head and clicking his tongue at you.
All right, we know how like water and oil don't mix. This vodka is such that it just rests on top of the milk, and I set it on fire. All right. Anyway, that's for you. All right, Stormbringer. Here's yours. Pull out a glass. Just gonna put in some dark rum here, and then add some ginger beer. And for the lime juice, you can take this lime wedge, and I'll let you do the honors, Stormbringer. You take this lime wedge and squeeze it as hard as you fucking can, almost like you're arm wrestling the lime wedge. All right.
Stormbringer takes the lime wedge and squeezes it super hard, not over the glass.
Give
All right,
me
well, you
a
got-
strength check.
You got yeah, strength check.
Seven. It's from the lime
Your
of
heart's
sleep.
not super in it. You're a little tentative about it, but you squeeze it pretty easily.
It's a lime.
yeah,
That's
it's
a
not
little-
hard, but
Little bit of lime juice in there. That's good. All right, that's great, Stormbringer. I call that a dark and stormy. Take a drink.
Are you drugging us?
I'm not drugging you guys. I'm a bartender now.
Um,
That's all.
Okay.
I feel like I've passed my drink over to Aideen, who is quite experienced with poisons.
She like sniffs it and sips it just a little bit and is like, the alcohol entirely burned off. This is just milk now.
Yeah, of course that's what's going to. Of course that's what's going to happen. Oh God.
All right.
I may not know alcohol, but I know setting things on fire.
All right. Charity and Stormer, you can try your drinks when you're ready. Hikari, you ready for yours?
I nod.
That was a good nod, Hikari. Very uncharacteristically solemn, but definitely in keeping with your attitude over the last week. I noticed. All right. For you, it's just, all right, just a bunch of grain alcohol, just a whole glass full of grain alcohol.
Jesus.
And then you
I
have
like it.
You take all right, well, actually, and I take the charity, Long Island Ice charity, and I put some more vodka in it, and I reignite it. And then you take a charity, and you use it to set the grain alcohol on fire. Like this. How about that? Trying to just lighten it a bit with what happened between you guys. But you haven't really gotten a chance to talk about it.
I just got that.
Use charity.
So it's flaming grain alcohol?
I hate
yeah, that's what it is.
I hate everything about this
Nearly
interaction.
explodes.
Oh, did it explode?
Nearly.
Yeah. It's wild. I call that.
Is there anything left for me to drink?
A little bit.
Okay.
After you quickly put it out the fire.
What's it called?
It is an old fashioned. Because you're 3,700 years old. How about that?
Okay, I laugh at that.
All right. There's one for me. I named one for myself. It's called the Beverage Camp. It's just vodka, gin, tequila, rum, some orange-flavored liqueur, and carbonated sugar water in a big old glass. It's really tasty. You should try it out.
What the fuck is carbonation?
Oh, when you blow bubbles into water. Wait, carbonation exists in this world, right?
Yeah, they make beer, so it must.
There are things that can carbonate it, sure.
I was gonna say, beer is different. Like, it's not the same process.
It's not like fizzy infused water.
Wait, is it not?
No, that's the process of the yeast fermentation naturally releasing gases that stay in suspension.
Yeah.
Oh,
There
I
are
thought it was
things that can
carbonated.
make bubbles.
Same.
As opposed to, like, soda water where you've injected carbon into it.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think I just made it canon. I think that there's carbonation.
You invented carbonation.
Beverage Camp invented carbonation for the Beverage Camp. And
Missy's back there just blowing bubbles into milk.
Thanks, Missy. You're doing great.
Oh, thank you.
And finally, none of this would be complete without a beverage named after our dear friend right out there in the square, in the Ice Spire, Vimeris. And I pull out a glass, and I set it out, and then I put some ice in it.
I had such a good Burbage joke, but it's not for charity to make.
Does Galway want to make it?
I mean, my joke is just that Vimeris is a glass of ice.
I was going to say it was related, that it was going to be, a drink for our friend out there. I assume that it's just frozen alcohol around a cherry.
Yeah. I settled on just a glass of ice. Oh, but it's called Sex on the Beach. Enjoy.
Why is it called Sex on the Beach?
Right. I guess I still find Vimeris attractive. Old habits die hard. Anyway, drink up.
Yeah.
Cheers, toast to Cliff Mill, which will hopefully not be so horrible going forward. Right,
Oi,
Takari?
to Cliff Mill.
And
I
to
nod.
constant vigilance.
Yay! At least I like
Constant
milk.
vigilance. All right, I'm going to enjoy my drink.
Yeah, I'll
Just-
knock mine back.
I think Stormbringer and I are the only ones with actual drinks. Sakari has grain alcohol.
And I'm pretty sure you
Carrie has
poured
milk.
my drink into her drink.
Yeah, if you want, here's some milk, Charity. Whatever you want, whatever.
Whatever.
That is the extent of what I had planned for after our 3 months off. I was like, well, maybe Burbage had some drinks for everybody. Beyond that, I don't know what's going on. There's like documents, there's a plot line, there's some story shit that we have to figure out. We can do that on stream.
I'm getting a tattoo.
To the tattoo parlor!
On the way to the tattoo parlor, a few children run up to Charity, and they want you to lean down, and they have some ribbons in their hand.
Stormbringer's scowling at them.
And if you lean down, they'll
Hello there.
they'll go ahead and tie on your horn several long blue and green ribbons, and then giggle and run away. You also notice that they've decorated the ice spire in the middle of town, very, very carefully, because anyone getting too close or touching it actually will get seriously damaged. And the giant bush that is now growing kind of on the side of this spire has been decked out in these red and blue and green ribbons.
Is that bush the
Gary
Gary
Shambling.
Shambling?
Yes, it is.
I was gonna say, as we're walking, I'm gonna like hork a piece of jerky over that way, and just sort of wave at Gary.
You hear the bush go.
Attaboy.
Oh, these cool decorations. Hey, kids! Is there some sort of festival coming up that I heretofore have not heard about because I don't really listen to people often?
Because the last festival in a halfling village went so well for us.
Was that Burbage Kemp Day?
No, that wasn't a festival.
That was also not in a
Should've
halfling
been.
village, it was in the smoldering wreckage of a carnival.
Oh,
caravan.
those are very similar. A farnival.
Caravan. A Faravan.
Faravan.
Carnival.
That's just putting two words that mean the same thing to you. Haven't added anything with that.
It was a farnival, Charity.
So, Andy, just as a quick question, how many times has a dean heard this conversation exactly already?
Yeah, about 4 or 5 already just this week.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yes, sir. It's it's the candle festival coming up.
Candle? The Candle Festival?
Yes, it's the candle festival.
What is that? What does that mean?
Oh, it's a festival, and actually, Burbage, you would know this from being around here, growing up.
All right.
The Candle Festival is a festival where you can exchange gifts, and just celebrate sort of the really long nights, by lighting candles for those that you love.
Aha! Very nice, child. You passed my test. You see, everybody, as somebody who grew up in this area, I already knew what the Candle Festival was. I just wanted to test this child to see if he knew. Well done.
Will you light a candle for me, sir?
Sure. Are you holding? Do you have a candle on you?
No.
What do you want me to do?
Just light a candle for me tonight.
Oh yeah, sure. Later. All right.
Yep.
Well, you can scamper off now.
And most of the establishments in the town are selling these like blue wax candles, that if you wanted to, you could buy and light for people. They're a copper piece a piece.
Insight check on the candles. 15. Do they seem suspicious?
A little bit to you, but it seems like everyone's just trying to make a little bit of money off of a festival coming up.
I don't know about this festival, you guys. I think we should stay away from those candles.
Burbage is in the middle of buying a bunch.
Burbage, no!
What? The candles? You can never have too many candles. Especially when
It's kind
candles.
of sketchy.
They're not sketchy. They're just candles, alright? Everything's fine.
Maybe.
Charity died. Now he's back. Everything's gonna be fine for the rest of her life, Stormbringer.
Burbage, he died, and more people want to kill him, and you, and Vimeris is trapped in ice, and I have to protect you guys.
Yeah, but Hikari is casting a spell, has been working on a spell that, to my understanding, Hikari, correct me if I'm wrong, but it is a spell that ensures that the rest of our lives go swimmingly.
Is that true, Hikari?
Yes.
See?
And I smile like really wide.
Wild to me that she hadn't thought to cast that spell prior to now. But that's
Oh.
cool.
Stupid me, ha ha ha.
Okay. How long till it's finished?
I look at Burbage.
Hikari, you're the one casting the spell.
Charity is like, as we're making our way across the square, just like slowly rubbing his temples. I missed you all so much.
It'll be done by the end of the day.
Oh, for some reason I
Awesome.
thought that it was going to take like a month or something. Didn't you say that it would
Yeah, I'm
take
sorry.
like a month?
Are you
It'll
talking
take a
about her? Yeah, metagaming. If you guys are talking about the spell that banished the kitty, that requires another 3 weeks of casting
Yeah,
it
that
every day.
requires a whole.
If you're talking about a spell that makes your life just better,
That
sure,
doesn't
whenever.
exist. Yeah.
If you're asking about a spell that just makes your life better, fine.
Burbage has
Have some
essentially
guidance.
Burbage has fundamentally misunderstood the spell that Hikari is casting on the Ice Spire or on Cliff Mill.
Okay.
It's
Also-
around the perimeter of the town. Is that it?
It basically,
yeah, basically. Yeah.
pretty much the entire like town area. It means that Shenik and then I'm sorry, what else? Andy can't teleport within the town
No one can teleport within the town
at all.
at all. And if like an elemental, celestial, fiend, or fae,
No celestial. I
not
didn't do
celestial.
celestial.
Okay, so if one of those other three were to step foot in the perimeter, they would start to immediately like burn and take damage.
So he would have to. So it's not that he can't come in the town. It's just he'd have to try to teleport.
No, he can't teleport. It also shuts off planar
no-
travel, etc. Also,
Right.
thanks.
But I mean,
no
could-
one can teleport
Could
in.
Shenik, since he was a tabaxi, he wasn't like a fiend or an elemental, could he still walk into the town?
He was a
take-
He is a
If
fiend.
he wasn't.
Oh, he is a fiend.
But yeah,
oh, I'm
you're
sorry.
pretty sure that you heard him scream when you cast the spell,
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
dive out of
okay,
him.
that's-
I was going to say, a couple people also confirmed. Also, as a quick note, thank you flipping the table for the host and the follow.
Oh, sweet.
So, Hikari, do you explain this to us?
I don't know. Well, did Burbage? Was that metagame that you understood that you misunderstood this spell? Or was
yes,
that
like
did you explain that?
Burbage definitely does not understand the spell.
Okay, so
He's been.
sorry. Go
Do
ahead.
you want to like actually correct him, or do you want to just let him live in bliss? That I mean-
just gonna.
I'm really flanderizing Burbage. Like he's getting dumber and dumber. Like, does he really think that there's a spell that's going to just fix everything? I said it, so it must be the
I
case.
was gonna say, Adam, you make that distinction.
I was like, it's your character?
Yeah, hey, Burbage is emergent.
Gotcha.
Emergage. Okay.
I don't know what to do now.
Oh, it's fine. I think that you just didn't want to. It sounded like Hikari didn't want to deal with it, and was like, "Yeah, sure, that's what's happening."
Yeah,
good job.
like I was gonna say, I feel like Hikari right now would just be like, "Yeah, I guess."
We'll have Burbage confront Hikari about this, like in 3.5 weeks when something terrible happens to us.
Yeah, I
Sounds
know.
good,
That's
yeah.
what I'm waiting for.
Let's just put a pin in this.
Yeah.
Hikari, as you're walking by, you see some kids kind of digging in the snow, just over here to your left, by the bush, and one of them says, "Oh, look, see, look!" And they've uncovered, just like pure green grass underneath the snow, and that is again because of your hollow spell, that you cast around the spire.
Okay.
And they seem really enjoying that fact.
Thanks for the sub, Samwise the Pooh.
So these aren't the same kids that were locked in the manor, are they? That I just closed the door on?
Yeah.
Oh God, I
Just to
forgot.
bring that
Don't forget about that.
in case someone was like heard that a few months ago and was like, "Wow, what a."
I really
don't
I didn't want
remember
to deal
that.
with it.
I do remember that, and now I really wish. I kind of hope that Hikari looked at these kids and were like, "Are they the ones that I just closed the door on in the manor?" And I feel like Charity looks. You what?
Yeah, the kid, was it a kid or multiple kids that were like crying in a room?
Two.
Yeah,
two different
like
kids.
they weren't locked, were they, Andy?
They weren't. No, they were being guarded by one of Crotch the Sticky's men, who was very, very kind to them.
No, but before
they
that
were-
they weren't.
And
They
was
weren't
under the
being
control
guarded.
of
They
Shenik.
were like in that manor
Yeah.
with the cat.
Right. That he was watching over them. At that point,
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
okay.
and you just had shut the door.
Sure,
It's
they're
funny.
not still in a room crying a week later.
Right. So, in the interest of brevity, Charity, you go get your tattoo.
Like, gee, I'm like, so
That goes swimmingly. Everyone comes with you. They all just sit around and watch as the hours of this process. Because again, there's tattoo parlors at the time are just basically ink painted sticks that are hit with a hammer.
All right, let's be honest. If we're in a tattoo parlor, Burbage is getting a tattoo also.
Oh shit! All right.
He's pretty drunk. He's going to get the word
oh God.
Theodic
Oh,
tattooed
God.
on his I guess on his chest.
I was gonna go with ass cheek, but sure.
Oh yeah, like a tramp stamp. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's do that. Do you think would Charity have suggested that to him?
After
Where's that
the
going?
drink thing, yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, I like that.
After
So-
you set milk on fire and told Charity that was him, probably, yeah.
So it's like the name Theodric, sort of an old flame of mine, future, I guess probably soulmate, current soulmate, future life partner. Whenever I settle down. Anyway, Theodic, Theadick.
But
Maybe-
it's Theodic Rucksack, right? Theodic Rucksack.
Not anymore. That's no longer. Do you understand? Does everybody understand why we had the fake name to begin with? Well, it was because I was wanted.
No.
And
You know
because
what I mean?
and because you kept screaming out at every opportunity that you were Burbage Kemp, while knowing you were a wanted
Yeah.
fugitive.
Right. In hindsight, I got really comfortable doing that. Kind of confusing, but I guess I'm just kind of that kind of guy. Isn't it hilarious that Andy just said in the interest of brevity? And now we're on another one of these tangents. That's wild. I just wanted a tattoo. Didn't mean it to turn into a whole thing. All right, now I've got a tattoo of Theodic.
Theodic Rucksack.
No, I'm just going for Theodic. Just going for Theodic, Stormbringer, all right? Can we move past it?
Fine.
Let's move past it.
I'm-
This, and then in the future we can move past your weird grief about not being
No.
able to control and protect everybody.
As
No.
as the tattoo artist is working on me, or if it's a separate tattoo artist who's getting ready to work on Burbage, I'm gonna hand them an extra gold coin and go, totally up to you whether it's Theodic or Theodic Rucksack. Totally your call.
All right. They like nod and kind of wink at you. Yeah.
Does that I do not want Burbage to does his passive perception hear that?
You're probably
Yes, but,
taking off
like,
your
you did-
clothes and
You've been drinking.
All right, that's fair.
Also, to be perfectly fair, I just left it up to the DM.
Yep.
So I'll take it up with Andy. Burbage will have
Anyone else?
You set Milk on fire and told Charity that it represented him. I'd also like to point out, just rolling this back for anyone who's been following this, you also found this out, or you also did this a week after finding out that Charity is essentially the Grim Reaper of the underworld.
Yeah, I thought about that while coming up with these drinks. I was like, yeah, it is a big deal. Like Burbage, yeah.
See, you should
I
have.
think he's
You should have
definitely-
gone with a 2-part drink where the first part is like really heavy and dark, and then the second part was like light liquor and milk.
Here's the thing.
You would have gotten the whole
Burbage is-
journey in the drink that way.
I want to be very. This is actually a really great point. Burbage is actually extremely uncomfortable with Charity having been Death's Belle. That is actually the first thing in a long time that he's actually not comfortable joking about. And he's definitely trying not to think about that over the past week. Like that's like the difference between like joking around about Al-Qaeda and joking around about ISIS. Like, shit, you were ISIS? Damn.
Which one is which one is acceptable?
This simile has 1, lost me, and 2, definitely offensive. Like,
All right. Okay, maybe instead of Al-Qaeda, one of those other like.
I don't think it's gonna get better.
I don't. Yeah.
Maybe just lay off the terrorism.
Let's just.
In the interest of brevity.
Okay. Also, one brief note before you have interest of brevity. Now you know how I felt with freaking Rook all last week. Or maybe we
I'm not
just.
saying I don't deserve.
Or maybe we just live in this abandoned stone hall forever. There's no plot.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. Is Hikari or Stormbringer getting a tattoo while we're here?
No, I'm just watching everyone really closely.
I'm just kind of looking through the. I'm not getting
Looking
one.
through the catalog of tattoos.
Yeah, don't
You
they
see,
have
like-
one of those?
Yeah,
Yeah, and you see like different fae. There's one where like one like little fairy is in like a tight green halter top dress. That seems really popular.
Sounds about right.
Is there like
Um,
a halfling with really like grossly distended forearms and a sailor's cap?
Yes. Yeah. There's a rat person. Mickey Mouse. I don't know. Anyway,
It's like you needed
It's a
more to
joke
make
about
that
Mickey
joke
Mouse,
land.
yeah.
Also, I'm pretty
In the
sure we
interest
just
of
got sued.
brevity, my joke. Yeah. Whoops. Adam cut it out. Anyway. So one of the things that after you've gotten tattoos and you've settled back down, one of the things that you that people in the town are sort of looking to you guys to decide immediately is what do we do about maybe who should be running the town? Because the mayor had been killed by Shenik, and their children, the mayor's children, are not of age to do this.
and probably pretty traumatized.
Right. And you honestly don't know that many people very personally in town. Probably the person you know the most is Missy. And people are still kind of looking to you to see. It seems like they want someone kind of their own. Like Aideen would probably be great at it, but she probably more wants to just kind of be behind the scenes and make sure things are safe and running smoothly rather than be the face of the town.
So if they're talking about it, and like I'm kind of picturing this as we come back from the tattoo parlor and like a group is there talking about it again and sort of looking at us as we come in
Sure.
and sort of expecting us to partake in this, Charity's going to sort of like as he sits down. It seems to me that when your town went to hell, controlled by a demon cat, someone organized a safe space and a resistance and managed to provide safe harbor to the people who eventually rescued you. So it seems pretty clear to me that if your town needs leadership, it already has it. And he's going to sort of look over at Missy.
And at this, everyone's eyes sort of lock on to Missy, who's behind the bar cleaning a glass. Do you mean me, sir?
Yes, Missy.
Oh, well, I'm flattered. I don't know if I'm the... I don't know if I'm the right person for the job.
Charity's gonna sort of turn back to the bar room. Who here can tell me that they would have certainly been safe over when Shenik took over the town, if not for Missy saving you all?
Now this is a few mumblings, but no one raises their hand. No one speaks up. And someone sort of shouts, "Aye, Missy's the one." And then a few more people, yeah, and they clap and really they're starting to get kind of excited about the idea that Missy might be doing this. And she very slowly kind of stands up on a stool and kind of puts a hand up. And even at this point, this really small person, you're amazed at the respect that she gets just immediately from putting a hand up. And she says, "I think we all look to the same people in this town for guidance. They've saved us a number of times. And I'll admit, I'm fairly nervous about the whole thing, but, well, if Charity thinks it would be best, perhaps the least I could do is do my best." And at this, there's kind of a cheer and a round of applause again, and she's smiling, and she bows to you, Charity, and thank you for this.
Oh, yeah, 3 cheers for Missy. Nice, well done, Missy.
Who you
And I
just
guess
told it will only be a bartender for her.
Point of order, question, does that mean that I'm going to be the next owner of the Bushy Tent Pole, or at least the next bartender here in Cliff Mill? Is that what's going to happen, Missy?
Yeah, about that, Burbage, you're quite a good bartender, but
Thank
I
you.
already
Thank
have
you
someone
very
that-
much.
how do you have someone that works with me, and well, he'll probably take over the duties, I'm sure.
Is this somebody
There's
that
kind of
Burbage
a-
would have met over the last
Yeah,
course-
there's sort of
the course
a
of the week?
stout dwarf that comes out of the kitchen. And this person is named Wolfa Farwinter.
You mean the wolf guy? Woofy?
I mean, he's been here for a long time. He knows the place really well. And you're an adventurer. You don't want to be bogged down with running a tavern. That
Yeah.
doesn't sound like something D&D would have us do.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, Woofy. The better man won the job. And I'll take an apron from the bar that I wasn't wearing and go over and hand it to him.
He cautiously grabs it from you and just... That's it.
So did
Congratulations.
Lurch just get made bartender?
Man, does he not talk?
He doesn't talk now. He doesn't speak.
Oh, great.
Perfect.
Well, at this, another day passes, and each of you is starting to sort of wonder what you're going to be doing next. And as you start to kind of get up enough nerve to ask everyone, well, what is it that we should be doing? What should we be focusing on now? Someone comes in the bar and dusts the snow off of their hat, and says, sorry, folks, but there's someone at the east gate that's asking for, well, they're asking for the family.
What do they look like?
They're on a big horse, and they got a really dark brown like cloak on, and yeah, they just came out of the woods to the east, and I watched them ride up, and I mean, it's snowing outside, and it's not
You're
good travel
being
weather, but
incredibly unhelpful. What else do you
Huh.
think you could tell me?
The horse name was Jack. I think I heard him say that.
Oh, so it's a him?
Yeah. It sounded like a him. He's got a funny accent though, or something.
he
What
look
sort
like-
of accent?
Oh, he's I don't know. He's sounded like he's from kind of far west.
What's west of us?
Like
Everything.
far west. Yeah, you guys are kind of on the east side of things.
Okay.
Yeah, like far west is, I mean, like Federo or Gaholnia or Wigmoles.
Wigwams.
Okay, we all have to stay together, right, you guys? Remember, that's a rule. Together.
Wait. Excuse me, sir. Does he look like... Wait, is this a man we're talking to?
Yeah.
Does he look like he was, like, raised from the dead by a divine being for vengeance?
That's a really good question, Burbage.
No.
Alright, I say we go talk to him.
Does he have weapons or armor on?
Oh yeah, also a good question. Does he?
He had a bow strapped to his horse. I saw. Yeah.
Okay, so I say we go talk to him, but first we shoot him, and then we talk.
Adine's picking up her bow and stuff, stretching it out a little.
I was gonna say, Adine, if perhaps you could cover us from a rooftop, and please don't shoot them on anyone's orders but mine, or if they're outright hostile.
Don't listen. Charity doesn't know what he's talking about. He's still really hurt from when he died, because remember, he died. So if I say shoot.
Okay, Bringer.
Okay.
She'll
Adine.
step outside. So, what do the rest of you want to do?
I'll head that
Going-
way.
The group, yeah.
I'm not letting Burbage or Charity get in front of me. Like, I'm actively shielding them while we walk that way.
Welcome to how we normally proceed towards any potential threat anyway.
But I look more freaked out than normal.
All right. So you head to the east gate here of this generally kind of makeshift wall that Charity had built a while ago. Yeah, there you see a cloaked figure just kind of very quietly standing in the snow, just about 10, 15 feet outside the gate.
What do you want? I'm shouting.
You hear a voice come from under the cloak. Looking for the family.
Why?
I think I got some answers that they might want.
Do I recognize this voice? Because Lena doesn't, but...
Stormbringer does not recognize the voice, though.
Okay.
Do I?
None of you do, no.
Okay.
Well,
and
one
why
of you does.
Which one of us?
One of us does?
Do I really though?
Barely.
Like,
It's
faintly?
something
Okay,
about it sounds
faint.
familiar to you.
That's what I.
That's more what it is.
And
You
why
don't- you can't put a face to the name or anything, or to the voice.
and why would you be inclined to provide this information to the family?
I've been hearing whispers and rumors. They will talk about the prophecies. I just thought you wanna know, huh?
Okay, Remy.
You know this person, Charity?
No, I don't. I am Charity of the family. What would
Hey,
you
don't go
say to my
announcing that.
family?
Maybe we go somewhere and we talk. It's a little snowy out here.
Maybe
I
you
have
stand right there and shout secrets at us, okay?
Shout secrets.
He uncovers his hood, and underneath you see a lizard folk, black scaled with like a highlighted green on the very rims of some of the flaps around his neck and mouth. He says, "Some secrets need to be remaining the secrets, Sherry."
Wow, really leaning into the Remy nickname here. Well,
What's your name, mister?
They call me Absalon.
They call you
Absol.
Hamster Lad? Hamster Lad.
Hamster Lad. That is a ridiculous name. Hamster Lad.
He comes a little bit closer to the gates, and he's like peers through them, and he goes, "Hakari, that you?"
I
Oh,
just
this
stare
could-
at
oh, this can only end well.
I
Ha.
just look at him.
Well,
Like, looking, like, confused and a little fierce, I guess.
look, all my men, they stay back in the forest, huh?
How
I just
many
come
men
here.
do you have?
And are any of them attractive?
That's not. I don't.
Oh, I got about 100 with me.
Why?
Look, I didn't want to threaten you. It just
That's pretty threatening, dude. Why are you
No,
traveling
no,
with
no.
a small army?
no, this. I'm a very important person. Just saying.
Okay, totally. You're so important that we've never heard of you, and now you've shown up with a small army, and you have secrets to tell us.
I mean, do you follow the court in Bovelia much? Good if you don't.
The
You probably
what?
never heard of my name.
The what and where?
The court
Court?
in Bovelia.
Would I know anything about that, given that I now have access to most of Calorin's memories?
Give me a history check.
15?
You've heard of you've heard of a family of lizard folk that are lords, in the city proper of Bovelia. And this person, their last name was Frey, and this person might be among them. That's kind of all you know.
Will your men be content to remain outside the city?
Oh yeah, they're fine. Just thought we could talk just a little bit, huh?
Perhaps somewhere a bit warmer,
Would-
and would you care for a drink while we do so?
I would love such a thing. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, but like, you haven't really explained why you want to talk to us. Like, why would you? You don't know us. Why would you want to help us, or tell us things, or come all the way from Vovalia?
Well, Sherry, if the things I heard is right, I think you need a friend. I'm a pretty powerful friend if you want.
I rolled a 7 for my insight check to see if I feel like he's being on the up and up. It's
I rolled an-
such a
your
check.
suspicions are just rough. You're having a hard time, but Charity, you feel
18.
there's just something really genuine about this person. That they seem just soft to you. They seem like they're really quite legitimately friendly, especially since he noticed Takari.
I'm gonna gently put a hand on Stormbringer's arm. It can't hurt to hear what he says.
I mean, it can. You died. And I failed to protect you and Burbage. And, well, Burbage is still alive. But, like, I could... He's a scaly man. And maybe he's not really a scaly man. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, I think Hikari can prove I'm a scaly man.
Hikari, can you prove that?
I'm
Hikari,
still just kind of staring at him with like one eyebrow up, like,
do you remember this person, Hikari?
no.
Fair enough.
Oh man.
Should-
I mean, I've lived for 3,700 years, so my memory is a little.
And you've been drinking for a lot of
Okay,
that time.
is this Hikari doesn't
Yeah.
remember, or is this Darcy doesn't because we haven't played in 3 months?
This is both.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
Darcy doesn't know, and
Por-
Hikari doesn't remember.
¿Por qué no los dos?
There it is. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, like, Darcy, you get to decide if you remember most of your, let's say, encounters with gentlemen.
Well,
and
I
if you
asked.
don't,
Okay. Metagame, I asked about you this before, and you said that it would be better if I didn't remember, and you didn't explain anything to me, so.
no, it's good either way.
Okay.
It's up to you. Yeah.
I guess, like, it's familiar. Like,
It's
I
just-
mean, the
yeah.
voice is familiar, and, like, once he says that and I see him, like,
I'm
he
gonna
looks slightly familiar, but I wouldn't have, like, noticed him passing by if he hadn't said anything to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sort of say to Stormbringer, well, if he isn't in the primary thing that you're worried about, we'll find out pretty quickly if he's not actually a scaly man, what with the catching all the way on fire.
What?
Charity is still smiling charmingly at the lizard folk while he says this.
Are you gonna catch him on fire?
I'll add to it.
Or fire?
It's okay. And I'm just gonna sort of pat Stormbringer on the
Not
shoulder.
okay. You died.
I'm
Why
aware.
is nobody taking this seriously except me? I'm the only one who cares about your safety.
Charity is going to sort of just hug Stormbringer for a second. It's okay. I trust you. Also, he's a lizard folk. I'm not... you must excuse me. I'm not very familiar. Do you do particularly well in the cold?
No, not particularly well. No,
Let's get him in front of a fire.
I'd
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
Yeah, Stormbringer, we can't just keep everybody out of Cliffman, alright? Let's let him in. Just
Why?
one question. One question before we let you in. Hikari might know you're a scaly man, but I don't. So tell me, do the scales match the scales? You know what I mean?
I mean, some of them do, yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, come on in, but keep your 100-guy army out there, and also, could you give me any weapons that you have? I'm just gonna pat you down, and not in a weird way, but really, Stormbringer, let's you and me take all of his weapons. Is that cool with you, Hamster lad?
Oh, my name is Absalon Frey.
I keep hearing Hamster lad because of what Gary said. It was really funny. We'll figure it out later. Are you all right with us taking like anything potentially dangerous from you?
Oh yeah, that ain't not so bad, huh?
Because if you've heard of us and you know that we're called the Family, and you have some information about prophecies and shit, then you know that we've been through a lot and have a lot of reason to be distrustful. So, please allow my friend and I to take that, and if you just open that up just so we can make sure you don't have any of those.
Stormbringer is
Oh,
going
yeah.
to try to take like literally everything except his clothes and search him incredibly thoroughly.
That's fine. Yeah, he's letting you. He's taking off bags from his horse and he's unstrapping everything. And Burbage, you see him like pointing out, like, "Oh, now don't forget that one, huh? Don't forget that one right there."
So
Thank you for cooperating.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I'm gonna say to them, like, kind of, like, our group kind of quietly that, like, I don't remember him, but he's, like, that he seems familiar, and I don't have any bad memories of him, so I think we can trust him.
I mean, he's also now inside the range of the banishment spell, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but like even no matter
Right.
what.
if he was Shenik, he would be all the way fucking on fire.
Yeah.
Right, 100%.
But I mean, even if he just was like someone with bad intentions, like that's not like coming up in my gut or anything.
Right.
That
Yep. Excellent. All right.
Cool.
So yeah, you take everything Stormbringer, you pat him down. Give me an investigation check.
Can I also give an investigation check since I was sort of helping with
Sure.
that process?
Yeah.
I got a 6. I really hope we don't fight at all tonight because I can't roll for shit.
Rolling great.
Did I
Stormbringer,
get a 6
your
also?
suspicions
Yep.
are just kind of making you miss a few things. And Burbage, you're starting like this is a pretty good looking lizard man.
Ooh.
Into that sort of thing. Which Burbage is. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Um,
And you feel you got pretty much everything. So if you kind of escort him back to the pub, he'll kind of on the way say like, "Now, Hikari, there's no way you could forget Gahomia, right? You remember me?"
that. Yeah,
That's what I
I
thought.
do a lot of drinking, so might.
Oh,
need,
no, yeah. You were drinking quite a lot. I just I didn't think you'd forget.
I just am still kind of staring at him, like just confusedly, like trying to rack my brain.
Yeah. All
That's
right.
it.
He kind of comes inside, moseys on up to the bar, and you hear Missy go, "Oh, great! Now what can we? Oh, hello!" And she jumps up on the bar, and she kind of like leans casually against one of the poles, and what could I do for you? You gotta. I just want some good whiskey, just something to take a chill out of the air, huh? You got anything like that? And she says, "Oh yeah, I have a couple things like that. Wilfa." And she kind of jumps back, and Burbage, you're closest to her. You can hear her say like, "Sorry, you just know my thing for lizardmen." And then she hops back into the kitchen.
yeah, Burbage is, before she goes, he's going to take her arm and say, "Easy, Missy. Burbage saw him first."
I'll fight you. I'm a mayor now.
Oh, you have no idea. I've murdered a mayor before. I'll do it again.
Jesus Christ.
She just kind of smiles like somewhat intensely at you and then disappears in the kitchen.
I'd like to point out you're the second heaviest drinker in the party, so I'm not sure I'd antagonize the people serving the drinks.
So, and now Burbage is like, wait, she likes lizard folk. And now Burbage is trying to put pieces together because, and what are the pieces that Burbage might be putting together, Andy?
I mean, you've met one other lizard folk before. In Diefield, there was a guy who was running a shop who had a lisp. And he was married to someone named Missy that he was running the shop and waiting for.
Oh yeah.
I forget if Burbage. I forget if Burbage was around him when he brought up Missy. So unfortunately, this might remain a mystery.
Yeah,
unless somebody else
it's
makes
possible.
The connection. Yeah,
Charity might as well, since Charity heard that lizard folk talk about that.
Yeah.
And I would say based on that reaction, and I'm going to go with like the passive 16 on insight, Charity went,
yeah.
As I'm walking over this way, because I think the fire is sort of down in this southern corner of the room, Charity is going to sort of, with his head, gently motion if some of the others in the area might be willing to move away.
Yes, and they immediately do that. He sits down in kind of a large, comfy chair, and he looks over at you, Hikari, and he sort of pats the chair next to him.
Okay, I'll bite. I'll go sit down.
Wait,
I'll bite means something very specific coming from Akari.
And smile.
especially when used on law enforcement. So
I'm just standing directly in between him and Charity.
he had introduced himself as Absalon and had never, like, given his full name, correct?
Right.
So
far, yeah.
and I was familiar with there is a family of lords in Bavalia that were lizard folk, the Freys.
No, he didn't give his full name because what's his face? Burbage called him Hamster, whatever.
Oh, right.
So he was like, "No, I'm Absalon Frey."
Okay, so I'm gonna sort of sitting in the chair, be like, "So, Lord Frey, what secrets might you have for us?"
Well, I got a couple questions along with some of them secrets.
Oh, I see how this is.
You call yourself the family, yeah?
We do.
Not many people would like it when I tell you what I'm about to tell you, but you have been the focus of several prophecies that some of my folk have been hearing, listening to. I'm just wondering, what exactly make y'all so special now? Why is it that the gods is talking about you?
So I had a good feeling about him, right, with that 18 insight.
Yes.
Like, he seems genuinely helpful. He seems, positive.
Friendly is the thing that you got the most. Yeah, that he just has kind eyes when he's looking toward all of you, and his demeanor feels softer, and he doesn't feel on edge at all.
And I'm just going to sort of point to Burbage. Thief extraordinaire, deadly in a fight. Point to Hikari. Deadly in a fight, deadly in a fight. Reason I'm alive again. Point to Stormbringer. Do I really need to explain?
No, I get that one.
Yeah, you better.
What about you, huh? What makes you special?
So, you can go off of this insight. It could either go off of an old insight check or I could make another one. Do I feel like if there was something to impress him, he might be more forthcoming, or we might be able to sort of skip through some of this sort of, not even verbal fencing, but, the dance?
From what you've gotten so far, you feel not necessarily, he's not looking for something to impress him. He's like legitimately curious why he keeps hearing about you guys.
Okay. So Charity is feeling a little more what the hell in certain ways since he came back. Charity, me? There is now a 10-foot tall angel in front of him. As I have entered my battle mode.
Gotcha.
Incidentally, as I'm looking at him with true sight, is he actually a lizard person?
He is, yeah. Yep. He then starts to kind of speak in like a low, very soothing language that none of the rest of you understand, but Charity, it's celestial that he's speaking in. And he says, "So there's a lot more to you than seems to meet the eye."
Angel will shrug.
This
While
is very interesting.
also very clearly looking around for a chair big enough.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
And Burbage, you sort of look around the whole room, and everyone else just looks like terrified of this gigantic angel, and they're just sort of frozen in fear. This guy seems genuinely just cool and interested in this.
Yeah. And we're so used to it that, like, I feel like
Yeah.
Burbage barely even registers that everyone else is freaked out.
Yeah.
Burbage would note, though, that, like, he's gotten used to this, so, like, once he saw that maybe Charity was about to turn into the angel, like, he would have maybe, like, made sure nothing, like, no drinks fell over or that the chair didn't fall back, like, things like that. And since he's bigger now, like, if there's a bigger chair that Burbage could, like, point out for somebody to get, he'll help with that process.
Well, yeah, one of the waitresses comes over and gives you a second chair. Now, Charity, and just smashes it up against the other one.
The angel will sort of bow to her and then scrunch down.
Yeah, she'll scurry away. He says then in common again, "Y'all is fairly powerful, I get that. And I saw the ice spire on the way into town. But these are still impressive things for mortals. What I'm hearing is something on a different level."
Well, maybe, Lord Absalom, if you were to tell us what these prophecies are, we might be able to do a better job of hazarding a guess as to why we're the focus of them.
See, prophecies don't work exactly like a he said, she said. You know what I'm saying? They say that they're more of a feeling and they're more of a like imagine praying in a painting. Know what I'm saying?
I don't. Please elaborate.
There are some folk who believe that there's a God looking to come into this world. There are rumors and signs along the way pointing to that fact. And as scary as that is, I'm also hearing a name I keep hearing from some of the common folk. The family. And I'm just wondering what them two things have in common.
So we had reviewed, I assume that in the week that I was sort of recovering, we were able to share the notes that we'd had and received and etc.
Certainly, yes.
So at the mention of a god trying to come to this world, parts of the wings are going to sort of catch a little bit more on fire.
Okay.
And the angel is now visibly scowling.
Yeah, and Burbage would be thinking of A Brief History of Federa, Volume 2, and he might narrow his eyes and squint. Gods can only come down. Only souls can lift them up again. What god?
That is some poetry that you speak, Mr. Kemp. Where did you hear it? Because I heard it when I was young, written on the walls of my monastery.
Well, I read it in a book. It's a chapter about Jude Willoughby. He was a high priest in Federa.
Ah,
Have you gotten to that part yet, Charity? Gotten any reading done?
The angel is nodding.
Yeah. And I have, yeah, for all cards on the table, everybody, yeah, like we have all these awesome documents in Roll20 that like Andy has written as like world building, and so I'm looking at that.
I can read Jude Willoughby really
Yeah.
quick. Yeah, it says the chapter on Jude Willoughby. basically says, one of the most beloved high priests in the past century, Jude was found out to be a Rakshasa. Upon his capture and revelation, he spouted what seemed like gibberish upon the executioner's block. Snippets of this speech have been saved, and here are the snippets. 1. The fates have split with her. 2. They've taken advantage of her lowering. 3. The bowls, the spoons, and eating their words, those that do not burn. 4. Gods can only come down, only swords can lift them up again. 5. Whispers in the dark make a booming voice when combined. They look for what they know not. And 6. The last game is being set. And those are the only surviving snippets of that speech. And then he was killed.
So when Burbage said the name Jude Willoughby, is there any reaction from Absalon?
Yeah, he absolutely recognizes the name. And he says, there's some of us that believe, well, Jude Willoughby, or whoever he really was, knew a lot more than he was letting on. He came to this world from somewhere else. Somewhere where maybe information was passed a little easier. Know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. And the god that is entering our world, would it happen to be Rin?
See, here's the problem with that. Rin has come to that world before. When a god come to this world, and a god leave this world, that god ain't quite as powerful when it go back. Gonna be a long time before Rin can come back. Long time.
Right, Rin already came, and I know about that because, and I pull out Bright Fang, and all the lights go out.
Nice. All right.
And that's
Missy's used to this, so she starts lighting them again slowly around the room.
That's a correct connection, right? I'm recalling that right. That
yes.
The story of Bright Fang was about Rin coming to this halfling village or town.
Yes. Yeah. And the halfling gave her a tooth of an ancient white dragon, and she formed it into the sword. Yep.
And now Burbage has it. That's pretty cool.
You'll look back, and Charity is now sprawled sort of comfortably across the two chairs. And you've noticed this some over mainly the last week. Charity often seems far more relaxed than he used to. And you all would have first seen it actually after he had first gotten his memory back, when there was the sort of drinking party in the ship, and he actually drank and just sort of sat around and sprawled around and laughed and enjoyed the music and dancing. And he is very much that sort of sprawled out look. Or would it be Behe bitch?
Yeah.
What now?
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, Bear Bitch is his nickname for Behelit, which is a...
We not say her name, maybe.
Alright, Bear Bitch, fine. Okay, Bear Bitch is sort of this divine extraplanar being that Charity here has sort of a complicated history with. Not that they didn't date, although, I don't know, did you date? Was it a dating thing? Or was it more of a sort of a servant thing? You were a warlock. Charity used to be a warlock. Now he's a sorcerer. How about that? Huh?
Charity is just staring fixedly at Burbage with a slightly pained expression.
really putting a strain on your newly relaxed demeanor.
Actually, this is more Charity's old demeanor preventing you from being slapped upside the head by like extraplanar force.
Good, thank you.
I am acquainted with her. I have not always been charity of the family.
Yeah. I'm starting to put the pieces together myself here. That God that you speak of, that's certainly one of them that's a possibility. Sid Barrett's been gaining power recently. Temple's been cropping up all over the place, and I hear she making some deals.
Since everything that seems to work for her is a demon, not implausible.
That's interesting. And he kind of scoots in his chair and is now almost entirely facing you, Hikari. And he says, "Gotta admit, last time we met, I was taken by you for more than the surface level reasons. See, I've been reading up on you, Hikari. Why do you think your God don't let you die?"
Because that God hates me?
See, I wonder if that's the case. Or I wonder if you're meant to stick around just a little bit longer for something. Now, what about you, big one?
What?
Seems like all these others got a connection here to some otherworldly thing. Why are you part of this?
Because this is my family, and I'm gonna protect them, and I'm gonna be vigilant constantly and keep them safe from now on.
Maybe you're like an anchor to this world, huh? Don't let these people stray too far. Be that rock that they can always stand on.
They don't stand on me. Well, Burbage kind of does sometimes, but not usually standing on me. It's usually like I'm carrying him.
Okay, I see. This one's really literal. Don't get me wrong, big one. I'm down with that. Huh. Well, I think I made up my mind. Y'all have the relationship of one Absalom Frey at your service. Now, maybe the king ain't exactly gonna listen to me, but if y'all come to Bovalia, perhaps we could all persuade him to do a little something. What is it y'all is want to do next? How can old Absalom help you?
I mean, I think all we want to do next is keep Charity and Burbage and Hikari alive forever. That's all we want to do next. Yep. Well, maybe not forever. I guess Hikari doesn't want to live forever anymore. But for a while.
That's admirable. But I'm just a little worried. See if I gotta come back to this world. I don't think even you and your axe are gonna be able to stop it. I don't think I'm gonna help your friends.
I mean, I haven't tried, but also, I mean, you're probably right. I failed last time. And Charity died.
Oh,
Stormbringer's
Sherry.
starting to tear up.
Sherry, I've been dead 10 times already. It ain't that bad.
Stormbringer, you would have failed if I was dead. I am clearly quite alive.
But you were dead.
Did you help, bring him back?
Yeah.
See? You're an anchor. Your friends ain't going nowhere as long as you're around.
They don't usually ever throw me in the water. We did that to
Oh, that's right.
Meepus
Literal.
once.
That one's on me. I forgot that.
And I think he almost drowned.
Yeah, okay. Sure. Just saying. You are a Goliath.
Yeah,
That's about as literal as I get. Sorry.
yeah,
You are
yeah,
s-
I'm a Goliath.
You are strong. You help
But
us.
you just said I can't fight a god who's gonna come hurt you.
Well, let's hope it don't come to that, huh? What if y'all could prevent it?
Hikari's supposed to be casting a spell that's gonna make it so only good things happen.
Charity is
I
Charity's
start looking around, like my eyes start darting around, like really nervous.
Charity is shaking his
That's
head
quite a spell.
at Absalom. Mm-mm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we want to be prepared for whatever happens with Behebitch. Is that what we're calling her? Yeah, we want that. We don't want to die. We want to keep each other alive. Looking kind of at Stormbringer. Yeah, that's definitely important. Also, I guess we still maybe want to figure out the fire blight, stop that from
Oh.
happening.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, it's sort of become kind of a side quest. Wouldn't want to lose it completely, but let's just keep track of that. And then also, we do, if possible, we'd love to bring our friend Vimeris back by melting the ice
Yeah.
spire with hellfire. So I'd say those
Yeah.
are the three main things.
Wait, I'm sorry. What was that last one then you said?
Oh, allow me to demonstrate. And Burbage will prepare a Long Island iced charity, and then a Hikari.
Yeah,
Or-
I'm with you so far.
And then he'll set the Hikari. What was the name of her drink? Oh yeah, the old fashioned on fire. And that'll. So you see, that is sort of what hellfire is. Did that make sense?
It's like fire,
I think it's Milky Fire, maybe?
milky fire. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to take one of the ice cubes from the Vimeris drink and just summon a bit of flame into my hand as it melts. That might be a more apt metaphor.
See, I see what you're doing there, but where that Vimeris you talking about?
Did you see the largish spire on the way in?
Of course I did, yeah.
He's about 10 feet from the top.
And at this, he kind of stands up and he starts to kind of pace a little bit. That don't make sense.
What don't make sense?
The prophecies about the family. That they included him.
Shocker.
So if
Well-
he gone, if he just frozen up there and dead, you already done what you was supposed to do? That don't sound right.
What do you mean? What were we supposed to do?
See, I don't know. I was hoping you could tell me.
That was what
You're
you
very
recently.
confusing.
You said that you would tell us stuff.
Yeah, that's why we let you in.
You were going to give us information.
Listen,
You're just making us more confused.
Yeah.
listen, little guy. I'm telling you, the gods is watching you. The gods is talking about you. I might even go so far as to say one of them's a bit scared of you.
Which one?
Well, I believe, talking to you now, it's Ballad.
Yeah.
Now, why is a guy gonna be scared of you?
Because we're gonna fuck her shit up.
God help me, I like you. I like you a lot.
Wait. Charity, you said, and Stormbringer, you said also, that apparently Behelit can't see or couldn't see where you were, Charity, or where we were at particular times. Usually she's able to, but then there were some times that she couldn't She couldn't track where we were with her weird godlike powers. Is that significant?
Ever since, well, it happened when you guys went to the caves where the gnolls were. And then ever since Vimeris got put in the ice.
Right, and so
basically those 2 times.
And so the figure that
and
Charity... So it's ongoing.
Yes, it seems to be.
No.
At least up until this present moment.
And so the figure that Charity, like, that was at the mouth of Behelit or whatever.
Voice.
The voice of Behelit. I'm thinking mouth of Sauron. And then the patience of Behelit was asking Stormbringer also, like, why can't she see you? And so, yes. So, yeah, that seems like maybe a part of the reason why she might be scared of us. It's because we've got some kind of cloaking mechanism or something. You know what I mean?
Charity's... So, also... So correct me if... Or I just want to verify something with you, Andy.
Yes, please.
When I broke my pact with Behelit, and then regained my powers, and then rather gained Sorcerer's powers, at the time, I feel like you said something along the lines of, it didn't so much feel like I was gaining something as regaining something that was always there, and felt like it had been sealed.
Yes, exactly.
And I also... I remember one of the 2 memories I took from the waterfall was being delivered to Behelit, or Behelit-ish. Behelit proximate. And there was a comment that was something along the lines of, he must be, like, made clean, or, like, you know, made blank, or something.
Yes.
I'm gonna sort of look at that and look at Absalom. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I also wonder if it has something to do with this. And again, I know this isn't really a spell, but I'm going to let my flames dance on my hand. And they're obviously silver.
Yeah.
I don't think Behelit liked this.
That's interesting. Behelit didn't give you that. You had that already?
And then I was going to also confirm with that, like in the memory of murdering Hikari, but also just generally through my memories of being Caloran, I remember having the silver flames, right? Or no?
The one, you had them at that point, and it was the Hellfire was slightly different.
Yeah, because the Hellfire like tinged it with black. No, I was just making sure that. But my flames, when I wanted to, I could manifest these silver flames that are now kind of my signature.
Yeah,
and be like, yes, from what I can remember, this is me. Behelit did not. Behelit granted me a white fire.
Well, seems like you were a bit of a thorn in her paw.
Does she have paws?
No, I'm sorry. She doesn't. No, she doesn't have hands either. She's a being of immense power.
We're a problem for her.
You're a problem for that. Thank you.
A thorn in her side.
Nope. That's not gonna do it.
Why? Yeah, that worked. A thorn in her side.
She has sides but not hands?
That's weird.
Everything has sides. Everything
I was like,
has sides. Even
I feel like Absalom and Charity are both like palm up gesturing at Stormbringer, like, see, this is what happens.
And you say you're hidden from her. She can't see you? Is that true?
Well, her creepy people have told us that. I don't know if it's still true.
They kind of might have killed me and taken my blood. I'm gonna pet my remaining horn. They tried to take this one too.
Wait, did they successfully get some of... Because Shenik didn't escape with Charity's horn, right?
No, he seemed to have been wrapping that up to send that somewhere.
Yeah.
And in his note, from Cliff Mill,
You want me to read that one, or actually you can read it because you can do the Shenik voice.
yeah, I'll read that real quick. As I have promised, Charity and his blood have been acquired. As proof, I offer you the other horn to the kind mother. The others are dispatched. I've killed the bitch who cast Hollow, so within a week I will do what I can with Vimeris. The city is falling to me, and I have already begun preparations below. The servants you've sent have already begun to set the scene for the process. There is nothing more your other servants could do. I have proven myself, have I not? I expect the kind mother to give me the moniker at any moment, but I would request that of charity instead of mercy. And once I am hers, as I promised, we will begin with her last missive. I also expect her to reconsider her vessel now. Now I shall bathe and await glory. Do as you will. Shenik, soon to be the charity of Behelit. From Cliff Mill, the broken place.
So for all we know, Shenik was able to take like a vial of Charity's blood with him or something.
Yeah, and the little stone altar that you found Charity on, definitely had like pools of his blood, kind of sitting in.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So all of a sudden, Hikari starts chuckling,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Okay, now I kind of remember Absalon. You're ticklish, aren't you? Very ticklish."
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm very ticklish, but yeah, you know the spots, girl.
Ooh. All
I just went-
right. I like that.
Yeah, did you share any of that note with Absalom?
I suspect I
Or is
probably.
that just more remembering for yourself?
I suspect I probably would have. Yeah, like I would relay the contents of it to him.
Okay. He definitely is kind of taken aback as he's looking it over. And he said, the only one God that I know that calls himself the kind mother. And that's gonna be Behelit. And I don't like this talk of a vessel. Okay. I don't mean to scare none of you, but I think we're getting into some big shit here. Y'all need to know and figure out what's going on. And I promise I'll help any way I can.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Absalom.
Yeah. Do you know anyone
us-
who would know more about this? Anyone
Well,
you can go
we
to?
were-
Anyone who figured this stuff out?
I was hoping that you might know more. Do you know anything about the pale spiders, the riddle machina, whispers in the night? Trying to remember, guys. Any other weird mysteries that are open ended that we might try to solicit his feedback on while he's here?
What those creatures
I know
are that
about-
like the creatures that just people just like can't remember them when they.
Right, we've got that sort of sort of a thing with a past. She did date her, so somebody named Roburn. And then
She
this,
was really wonderful.
yeah, she was
Stone.
fantastic.
She
Stormbringer.
died too.
Stonebringer, you just described the riddle machina.
What?
Roburn was a riddle machina?
They're a group of beings that, if you see what they really look like, you ain't never gonna remember 'em.
Okay,
I
that is
remember what she really looked like, though.
that's a huge reveal. I had no idea. Did we know that? Did we know that there was a connection between the Riddle Machina and Roburn/Patience of Charity?
No.
Or of
Well,
Yeah,
we knew there was
the
Roburn
notes
and-
the notes made that one pretty clear. That's at least to me. I thought I thought it was pretty well hinted that like her closest servants are the unknown. I'm paraphrasing.
Well,
Like,
we didn't know that was the Riddle Machina, though.
but it was also implied in.
Bell's note,
But it was also kind of implied in
Uh,
the one of the two Shenik of you are not Riddle Machina.
right?
Because it was the check yourself.
To Shenik.
So, wait. Does that mean Roburn was working for Bahamut?
The Riddle Machina is something different than the gods. Maybe they under the employ. I don't know. Did your friend know what she was?
I'm not sure. She had a necklace that made it so that people could see her, but not in her real form. And, I mean, her parents didn't know what she was, but she kind of seemed like she at least knew what was happening, but I don't know if she knew what she was exactly.
Oh, darling, that don't make a lot of sense. See, the Riddle Machina, their parents know exactly who they are. Are you saying this child didn't have parents that were of the same kind?
Not according to her parents I met her dad. Not according to her dad.
But he also
That's interesting.
just
One of them.
noted that she sort of appeared one day and tried to explain who she was. He had been
Yeah.
affected by her powers, he thought. Though that could have been a story.
Why would she tell stories?
It also might have been a story that she believed was true.
Are the Riddle Machina bad?
No, not necessarily. They're just, they are very old kind of people. And they, every once in a while, align themselves with causes they think is worthwhile. Not bad or good, they're just useful if manipulated.
What was the Riddle Machina's connection with Vimeris and his parents again?
Some of the Riddle Machina were the ones that were asking to kill Corin, the parents of Vimeris.
They were the ones who hired the.
Yeah, through a couple channels, it seemed like that's also the thing that guy sort of
The deadliest
was
creature in
terrified
existence?
of. Yeah, yeah,
Because
because they seem to shape and make him into something that he was really scared of. Yeah.
Wait, he was scared of the Riddle Machina because they had shaped him into something?
Yeah, so if you look in Neverwo's journals, he starts to say like,
Oh, and there's some perhaps it's nothings in here. Fuck,
yeah, there's a couple perhaps it's nothings in there.
Oh, I should have
My desire
reviewed
to
all
achieve
this.
Prophecy grows. He talks about a prophecy after he meets with people.
And after I relayed the prophecy, I can no longer remember their faces, their mannerisms, their names. They are just whispers in the night. Perhaps it's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing left. Riddles.
Yeah. And then he talks about killing Corin and Elrora. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it ends with, I wasn't going to kill the child, I don't think. Why would she do this? How could she do this? Why did they make me? Is it that? Yeah, I'm wondering if that why did they make me would have stood out to Burbage as he's considering the ways that, like, Q might said that they made him into something, and yeah, so that's a connection that might be brewing for Burbage. I don't know.
And someone really wanting to squash the prophecy that Vimeris had, or that his parents had and gave to him, seems pretty intense.
And I'm going to sort of gesture. So you said that the prophecies that you have heard concerned the family. They concerned Vimeris
Yeah.
as well.
I didn't know Hikari was going to be a part of it. Honestly, there was kind of a blur and a faceless image where she is. But seeing her now, I recognize it. But Vimeris was definitely here too. He's one of the dark elves. White hair, right?
That's correct. Vimeris had a prophecy as well. A prophecy that the Riddle Machina seemed to want him dead for. He never told us precisely what it was. It came from his parents. They gave it to him to pass down because they had, I think, foreseen their own deaths or understood that they wouldn't live to see it. His prophecy had to do, at least partially, with that. And I'm sort of gesturing out the window at the ice spire.
Mm-hmm.
And I am remembering this right, because we were transitioning Jay out from playing, so like he seemed to feel like he was fulfilling his prophecy, right, when he did that?
Yeah, that was one of the last things he kind of said before he basically went down the well, was he's all of a sudden started to feel very much like he was about to fulfill his prophecy.
So I'm going to sort of...
And then his last words basically to you, Charity, were, this is it. This is what I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and he seemed to feel that... Why are the mounts moving and highlighting?
Sorry.
What the fuck?
The camel's getting restless outside.
He seemed to feel... he didn't talk to us about much of anything, really, but he didn't talk about the prophecy much, but he seemed to see that spire. But
listen, I don't know what you're planning to do exactly. But if you can free that man, he still has a part to play, I think. At least, that's what some of the visions are saying.
But... And I'm gonna look at Absalon very directly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. This is one of those... You can have me give a check if you want. I'm just trying to get the sort of gentle directness that Charity can have.
Uh-huh.
In your prophecy, when you see us, and I know that it's only feelings, are we doing something good?
Charity, not only is that a good question, that's the right question. Those that don't want me coming here talking to you, they think you're about to do something bad. But me, sitting here now, I don't think you can do bad. I think you're gonna do what's right. and good. And I just think you might save us all.
And there's the insight check. 22.
With a 22, his eyes are no longer like soft. His voice is no longer just friendly. There's something genuinely pleading with you in his voice. He is a little more stern. He is a little more sure of what he's now talking about, it seems, to you. All of this feels very genuine.
And I was going to say, especially with Charity, I feel like Charity might recognize that from some of his past experiences with Behelit. Is this the kind of steel that comes from belief?
Right. It's not just that. It sounds like he might have even had a question about it too, and that now he feels more resolved in it.
And who doesn't want you talking to us?
There's a few in Bovalia who had heard the same whispers and rumors, had some of the same visions.
So
we don't need to speak their names.
So there's another group who I need to add to the list of people who want to kill us, is what you're saying.
I don't know if they want to kill you or just,
I'm gonna kill them first.
They ain't gonna help you like I am. They're more, let's just, let the chips fall where they may. Look, I wish I could tell you exactly what your next steps are. Frankly, I don't know. I believe you're gonna do what's right. I think you're gonna find a way to save your friend. And then he looks to Hikari again. I think there's a reason you're still here. And if there's anything I can do to help, please trust me. I'll go where you can't. I'll talk to who you can't. I can open doors maybe where you can't. Let me be a friend.
So Charity's kind of pondering, thinking on the insight checks and everything that he's said, and he's going to sort of not roll his eyes like skeptically, but, you know, roll his gaze back up to Absalom. A family can always use friends. And offer him a hand to shake.
He extends a hand. It's scaly and cold, but firm.
Well, it'd probably help with that, considering I'm always slightly warm to the touch. Or excessively warm, rather.
You weren't when you were dead.
You know, Stormbringer, what if we took that first fight at the docks and then the later fight in the manor, and instead of considering them as two separate fights, consider them as sort of one two-part fight? Huh? If you think about it that way, you didn't fail, you didn't let anybody down. In the end, we won, and it was because of you. How about that?
I mean, kind of makes sense. I didn't rest very much in between. I rested some.
Right. There's a little bit of rest, but that sort of what makes it a two-part fight. One general confrontation / encounter in this horribly cursed town. I would just encourage you to start trying to think about it that way, because granted, at the time, it felt like a terrible ending to something, with Charity dying and being taken through a portal to God knew where. But then the story continued, and everything was fine. Just my 2 cents, something to chew on. Say, Absalom, Any news from Federo?
Oh, Federo don't lock their doors. They don't let anyone in or out, and that includes a lot of news. They're
No.
holding up tight for something.
Oh, no news getting out of Federo. Between that and what that handsome guy in the woods said to us, blanking on his name. What was his name? The guy who said that we were going to fuck next time we saw
I
each
have
other.
no idea who you're talking about.
I kind of
No,
remember.
the guy. He had there was a minotaur with him, wasn't there?
Oh, I remember the
Yeah.
Minotaur. That was fun. We arm wrestled.
What was his
Nope.
name, Andy? Do you remember?
Insert name here. That's what his name was.
Future Adam. Get on
He's
that one.
Toro. Oh, and his
Yeah,
name is
Toro.
Anton.
Anton, that was it.
Anton.
Thank you.
You're
Anton.
welcome.
Taking notes.
Good job. I took notes too, but I didn't want to. So why do I keep notes if I'm not going to go back through them? Weird. Anton said to us, you guys got to get back to Federo as soon as possible. That was a long time
That was
ago.
a real
That was a
fucking
long
long
time
time
ago.
ago.
You're pretty sure now that, they've now sealed up everything, and now it would be very, very difficult to get in or out.
I mean, to be
according
fair,
Adam.
they were kind of doing that when we left.
Indeed.
That sounds like an adventure, though. Sneaking back into Federo, that's awesome.
Hey, you know what else sounds like an adventure?
What?
Going on a scavenger hunt.
Did you plan a scavenger hunt for my birthday, Stormbringer?
Is it your birthday again?
No.
It's like the third
I
time
just
this
didn't know
month.
Like a month ago.
Didn't know if you'd prepared something after the fact. You know what I mean? Theodric did. He gave me this cool little dragonfly pin. How's that look, everybody? Look at this. And while
That's a pretty dragonfly.
Yeah. I kind of I'm trying to I, Adam, am more curious about this dragonfly pin than admittedly Burbage would be, so let's just move past it.
No, but there was this. Look at this bloody letter that we found with that horrible cat thing, and it's addressed to somebody we know from Federo's history, and it's a scavenger.
Oh, yeah. That
What letter
bloody
you got
letter.
there? You got a letter there, Sherry?
Yeah, I don't know you. You can't have this. Is
I'm
I
sorry,
don't know you.
I'm not here to pry. I'm just,
But Charity, you can see it.
Stream might notice
Hopefully
that
all of
Charity
you.
is seeing it right now.
And hey, remember that?
This was the letter that was accompanied with the two Shenik. And someone named Y was asking Shenik to give up on basically whatever he was planning to do and instead go after this person and kill them. And then this letter was attached to it. And it's a letter about delivering some various alcohols to someone named Israk Devere.
And hey, you guys remember in the Most Dangerous Creature Who Ever Lives journal how he talked about one time he met Devere and Devere told him a secret when he was drunk. And I'm not going to say it because I know Charity trusts Absalom apparently because he's just been vomiting his guts out at him about private things. But I'm just a little, I just gotta warm up to you, okay, Lizard Man? We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Israk Devere. Yeah. He's the guy in the brief history of Federo who died in this mysterious sort of flame incident.
Yeah, like your boyfriend's dad.
Yeah, like that mayor that held on Dale.
The other mayor
So-
you killed.
Yeah, the other one I
Oh,
killed.
sorry.
Hear that, Missy? All right. Spontaneous combustion, weird flames, fire blight, Israk Devere. Israk Devere isn't dead?
We
Israk
also
Devere-
remember he was the name in Vimeris' locket.
Wait, was he?
According to the DM.
Oh. Oh,
He was, yeah. You
I'm
would
seeing
remember
that now in Discord.
You remember that? Yeah.
Wait, Vimeris had a locket that just had that name in it?
Yeah.
Was it a heart locket?
No.
Was it like
It-
okay?
It was like a little pendant locket thing that just had the name like on the back.
Oh, that's
And
so weird.
Vimeris had wondered if it was his real name or what exactly the name of his father, maybe.
Maybe we
Alright.
should hunt down this dead guy, or, well, he's probably dead, but death's not really a thing, so we should hunt him down, except it was a thing of charity.
Well, no. This Y person, who I'm just going to assume is Yizak, High Priest Yizak, because
Right, that's a good assumption. I hadn't made that connection.
yeah, in Chapter 2 of Brief History of Federo is about High Priest Yizak. It would be weird if Izrak had nothing to do with Yizak. You know what I mean? Just sort of makes sense.
Right, that's a lot of Z's.
Let's just run with this assumption. And Yizak said in his letter to Shenik, right, you need to focus on an older, slower target, something more aligned to your skill set. We've intercepted a letter. So they intercepted a letter to Izrak Devere. Right, yeah. Okay, so we need to take these directions.
Right, and if you reference entry number 4342 in the most dangerous creature who ever lives journal, you'll see there's also a hint that I can't say because of the lizard.
Oh, well,
Okay.
that's all right. We shouldn't say it?
I don't know.
All right, I'll
I just
Which number was that again?
4342.
These aren't in. Oh yeah. Devere came. Okay, I'm gonna whisper it to you. Hey,
Okay.
Absalom, cover your ears.
Oh, okay, man. Here we
Okay.
go.
Devere came to visit. He's an odd duck. There's a bounty on him too, but I'm not here for him yet. I just don't have the chops. Maybe later I'll hunt him down. Mental note, after getting drunk, I heard him mention that he never gives someone the correct directions to where he is, and that if we ever need to find him, do the exact opposite of what he said. Fuck, he can drink. Oh man. So that's a hint, eh? Fuck, he can drink.
I don't think
Fuck,
that part's the
he
hint,
can
Burbage.
Oh, which part? Oh, the directions. We're supposed to do the exact opposite of what he said. Okay, good hint. Stormbringer, not for nothing, but in another life, I think you would make a great researcher. You
Oh,
seem to
that's
have
nice.
really good research skills, making connections between different texts.
Thanks.
Oh, you're very welcome. All right, you can uncover your ears. Absalom! Absalom!
Oh, yeah. What do you need?
You can uncover your ears, but you just did, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so should we do that next? Is that what we're gonna do next? Next episode.
I mean, I think maybe we can clear even more up.
12 miles north of.
You're casting that spell that's going to make everything okay, right? So it'll be safe for us to leave the town because the spell you're casting is going to make everything okay forever.
This is getting so bad.
That's all right. We'll just move past it.
And
Everything's gonna be fine.
Charity was preparing to shake his head, and then as soon as Stormbringer was like, "So we can leave," he's sort of like,
So the directions that would lead us to Izrak Devere start with 12 miles north of Wade even. So instead, the opposite would be like 21 inches south of Nevedal.
Remember that we don't trust the Absalom, or I don't anyways. Maybe don't say all those out loud.
Yeah, well, Charity shook his hand. He's sort of a friend now. Would it help if he shook your hand, Stormbringer? Here, watch.
Maybe. Oh, hey, do you want to arm wrestle Absalom? I
There
like
it
arm
is.
wrestling a lot.
Arm wrestle.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
I
nodding from.
said I didn't want to do that.
Good. I was nodding. Burbage is like,
Arm wrestle.
do it.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
All right.
Let's
Right
do
now.
it.
Let's.
Burbage is going to clear the
clears,
table.
Clears off a table, a couple beers, and he sits down at it. Oh, all right. You think you can arm wrestle one of the lords of water? Not water deep.
Of Waterdeep.
You're one of the lords of Bovalia.
I'm like
You-
almost undefeated.
You
Robert
got a
defeated
pair.
me.
You got a pair on you, girly.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Go ahead and give me a strength check.
12. I can't roll tonight.
Oops. Oh, go back. Don't go to there. Oops. I'm coming back. Hold on.
You left roll 20, didn't you?
I did. I don't know why. My bad.
I've done that. It's frustrating.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So you're both holding your hands there. Neither of you are gaining an inch. Go ahead and make another one.
Wait, that was a strength save. So subtract 4 from that.
So 19.
Yeah, 19.
Okay. Ooh. You're starting to push down harder on him. You're getting him about halfway down. Go ahead and make another.
18.
Oh my gosh. There's something about the cold maybe that's made him a little weaker and frailer than normal. You slam his scaly arm down onto the table. So much so that one of the scales even just kind of gets lodged into the wood itself. And he's just nothing but smiles from ear to ear.
Yeah! I'm the champion!
Oh.
That was a good wrestle, dude. You're okay. I think you're okay. We can tell you something.
By the transitive property, you just beat the king in arm wrestling.
Wait, does that mean I'm the king now?
Well, I don't know if he would recognize it, but I certainly do.
I'm gonna tell him I'm the king.
Oh, God. In Charity's head, Bulvalia just got crossed off the list of places we can go.
Add it to Digolnia and Federo. All right. But yeah, he's all smiles. And at this he says, "Look, you're a good group. You don't even have to tell me what you're doing next, where you're going. I just wanted to be here and be a part of it, because I believe in you. So if there's anything you need me to do, let me know how I can be of service." And then he looks to you, Hikari, and he winks at that.
So, Absalon, you don't
Yeah,
need to leave
dog.
right now, right?
Oh, I could maybe spend the night, warm myself up before heading back to the troop.
Sounds good.
I'm pretty sure Hikari saw him before Burbage.
I was gonna
Hikari
say.
saw him first. Years and years and years ago.
He kind of his like forked tongue kind of like licks his lips a tiny bit, and he says, "Now there's room for small fries too."
Ah!
Please just don't have a threesome, you guys.
Charity,
They're gonna
I'm
get
sorry.
really awkward.
That's a little too
Stormbringer
weird.
has to watch that.
as
Oh fuck, you're
No,
right.
no.
That is perfect.
as
That is the perfect way to help Stormbringer move on.
as as that
Hikari and Burbage to have a threesome.
as Absalom says that, Charity is going to, from this very like languid, laid out over chair's position, roll up to his feet, wipe down the front of his robes. Well, that's it for me. Pleasure having met you. Tell me, Absalom, would there be any way that we might be able to contact you remotely in the future if we were to come up with something that you might be able to help us with?
Wait, isn't he gonna go with us on the scavenger hunt? I thought that's what this was all about.
Oh, if you need me and my man, sure. If you need us to do something else, or we could even just stay and protect the town, whatever you like.
You've got 100 men at your disposal that you're willing to just have them do what we want them to do.
They're not going to do that,
And at this,
Burbage.
his eyes get like really serious, and he says, "Mr. Kemp, I would do far more. I believe in this. I believe in you.
Why?
My particular vision was of 5 statues, each holding each other up. And on top of their heads was placed the world itself. I saw another vision when these statues did not exist, and that world was on fire. Now, I don't have a lot of learning, but I say a world on fire ain't a good thing.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So, you need me to do something? That's fine. And he's rummaging around in his pack now, and he pulls out kind of a small piece of flat slate, and he says, I have another one of these in my place in Bovalia. Look, if I return there, and you have this, all you gotta do is write something on that slate, and on the other end, I'll be able to read it.
Well, that's cool. Quite useful. A lot of utility in something like that.
Brother, I got all kinds of useful things.
How far is Bavalia from here? Or like, if he's from... I remember that there's like the Kingdom of Bavalia, which I think we might actually be in.
Yes.
And then there's like Bavalia City, Bavalia, which is presumably where
Right.
he's referring to. How far is that from here?
It's kind of it's not that far. It's sort of the city sort of south.
Yes, I
along
can see
the
it's
coast.
southeast along the coast here.
Yeah.
So how... Okay, so he's probably heading back that way. He has 100 men here. What is the state of the defenses of the town at this point?
Of this town?
Yeah.
You've been able to sort of mold stone well enough to really make sure that the gates and the walls are really solid. There's just not a lot of people to actually man the walls. Aideen has been doing her best trying to, train a few of the townsfolk, but again, these are mostly merchants and farmers, and right now you're not trusting a lot of mercenaries to help.
And this is within Bavalia, which he is a lord of.
Yes. Yeah.
So Charity might go, thank you. This will be most helpful. I assume this is secure from potential prying eyes?
Oh, quite.
And
Yeah.
do you think it would be possible for you to leave some men here to help oversee the protection of the town? These are good people, and they have suffered much recently.
And in this, he gets a little quieter, and he kind of looks around the room. I believe that this town also has a part yet to play. It would be my honor to have my men protected.
Charity will bow to him. As for now, this town holds one of my family, and I feel myself in some amount of debt to it. Though they say we have saved it, I also fear we have done harm to it. It would set my mind at ease to know that they were safer.
Just let me know who they can take orders from, and I'll leave 50 of my best men.
I'll sort of nod with my chin over towards Aideen. She should
raises a mug.
She should be able to ensure that their efforts are well spent.
That's excellent. I'll talk to her before I go. In the morning. And then he winks at Hikari again.
Charity's just going, okay, that's, you have fun, And sounds good. We can check in the morning. I'm going to get as far away from comments about there's room for the little ones too as possible.
But Charity, the rules are that Hikari can't be out of my sight.
Stormbringer,
along
I
with
ain't
the
never
rest
been in a tiefling sandwich before.
What?
The-
To Stormbringer?
I'm just saying, if Charity'd want to join.
Hey, stop inviting people
Darling,
the mix
I'm
that I
sorry.
know.
Darling, you're enough. I don't want to leave your friends out if it's they
This
so
is
inclined.
okay to leave my friends out of.
Oh, well.
Charity at this point has gotten over to
No
a Dean.
offense to any of you.
Please, can we get out of here before I don't know. I think it would end up with like 7 people.
Oh, that's
Sorry,
fine.
Epsilon. Sorry,
That's fine.
on their behalf. Trust me, they do not respond well to the prospects of family orgies. I've
I
been
feel
there.
like it's kind of explained by that phrase, family orgy.
Yeah. That's just.
See, she does take things literal. Yeah. All
You
right,
mean
well,
a figurative orgy?
What's a
Yeah.
figurative orgy?
An orgy with lots of figures.
Oh, okay.
figures who call themselves a family but aren't actually biologically family. I feel like we've been over this before. All right. Getting frustrated. Where's Wolfie? Wolfie!
You hear like a from the back of the den.
Bushy Tentpole's going to fall apart with him as the bartender. I just know it. Don't laugh, that's not funny. I was insulting you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds better, I guess. Yeah, alright.
Okay, Hikari, you can have sex with him out of my sight, but
Thank
if
you.
you're not open in the morning, this is not happening again. This is the one time if things don't go good.
Okay.
Epsilon is just wide-eyed. Huh?
What time is it, Andy? What time is it now?
It's probably about 7 in the evening. The bar's starting to get a few more patrons in.
Well, I don't know when you guys are planning on doing that, but before we all disperse, here is everybody's candle for the candle festival. And I hand everybody in my vicinity one of the candles that I bought earlier. Is the
Alright.
candle festival like one night, or is it like a week-long thing?
No, it'll be starting next week. It'll be for a week.
But that kid
But
asked
up until
me.
that, up until that point, you can light candles for people, but generally the tradition is to light one per night.
Can each of us light one candle?
If you have one, yeah.
All of you have a candle now. We can each light it for whoever you think of. You don't even have to share it. Just somebody that we wish well on.
Yeah.
I'll be full disclosure. I'll be lighting mine for that kid earlier, I guess, because he asked me to. But you guys don't have to share. All right.
Yeah, Epsilon will take a candle and he'll light it as well, and he'll sort of nod at Hikari a little bit.
Okay. Well, that's you. Obviously, were thinking about Hikari and fucking her later.
Oh, you don't know that. You don't know that.
You were looking at her while you lit your candle, and you sort of
You're
looked
so
off.
mad.
Listen, mon ami, just be cool, okay? Be cool.
Whatever. I'm never gonna get any Theodec on these adventures, am
Yeah,
I?
when was the last time Burbage got laid?
Ever?
Yeah, I didn't.
Wait,
Uh,
has he had sex
technically-
in our campaign?
No, not
He
in
has
this
not.
campaign.
Wow.
Not since I
He
met
has
you guys.
tried.
It is bad
He's
luck.
tried a bunch.
Oh, damn it.
Charity's gonna I assume that you sort of just like were not tossing the candles around randomly, but like setting them out and people were passing them around.
Yeah.
Charity's gonna take the candle and quietly, especially while Stormbringer is distracted by the logistics of not watching Hikari have sex, but how to watch everyone else, etc. And step outside and kind of motion with his head at Aideen.
Yeah. Yeah, she'll follow you.
And slowly make his way into the center of town and light the candle and set it sort of in a snowbank next to the ice tower.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
And then take Aideen's hand and hold it.
Aww. You don't see, but she kind of turns her head away and smiles brightly.
So now, in addition to
Hikari?
Stormbringer trying to figure out how to not watch Hikari have sex, she also will at some point probably realize that Charity isn't there.
Yeah. When do I notice?
About this point, you kind of look around the room, and Charity and Aideen have stepped outside.
Where's Charity?
Burbage will actually have been like anticipating her panic, and he'll just calmly like gesture toward the door, and I guess offer to go out with her to where Burbage saw Charity go. Maybe. I don't know if that's
Gotta
good.
go get it.
Is that healthy? Oh my god, should Burbage be enabling her behavior? I mean, like, I'm trying to walk that line. I don't know. Fuck. Or yeah, like so Burbage will like take her to the door, and he'll just kind of like
You can kind of see into the square from one of the windows over here.
yeah.
So
he'll
maybe
just-
you
he'll-
take her
yeah.
to the window and just show them that they're holding hands by the
So
by
I'm just standing there watching him.
in the window, just
Yeah.
glued to the window.
Well, it seems like at least a healthy step forward that she doesn't have to be out there. I guess.
It's a healthy step forward that you're not in a headlock being dragged to the square right now, Burbage.
Exactly.
She gave permission to Hikari, not you.
Yeah, true.
And Hikari, would you go upstairs with Lord Absalon Frey?
Yeah, well, everyone's distracted and before Burbage starts screaming again. Yeah.
All right, you grab his hand and you quickly sort of move him upstairs.
Yeah, we get another room.
Okay, yeah, you get your own
Obviously.
room, which is different than the normal one that Stormbringer's making everyone stay in.
Ugh.
Oh god. And then use board music.
Burbage is flagging down Missy, and he's gonna say, "Did you see what happened? Hikari's with that reptilian guy. Hikari got with him. It's not even with either of
I'm gonna
us.
get my
Can you believe it?"
throat slit.
She's just like smiling really hard and like, I know. She's the greatest. That Hikari.
Isn't it wonderful?
Drink it all.
Yes, so happy for her. So you like lizard guys, eh?
Oh, I'm soaping. Yeah, of course.
Why? What's your history with lizard guys? You know, there's one.
I
that
don't
we
have
met-
one. I just think they're pretty.
We met one in Diefield. We went to Diefield and we met one there, and he recited sort of a cool little poem at my birthday party.
Oh, that's nice.
He had,
Oh,
he had sort
That
of a lisp.
random stranger
Sort
to
of
have
a
done
lisp.
that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I think
Of-
he
Oh.
mentioned he mentioned someone named Missy. I think either if I wasn't there, I found out at my birthday party. Someone said it to me. Yeah, is that you? Are you the Missy he was talking about?
Would you like a drink? Mr. Kemp.
Yeah,
I
that'd
was
be
going to
great.
give this one to Hikari, but
No,
I
I'll-
think you should take it instead.
I'll take it. Is it a beverage, Kemp?
Yes. It's
Thank
a
you
beverage
very
for
much.
Kemp.
All right, but it's not the drink that I invented. It's called the beverage Kemp.
No.
All right, I'll drink it anyway. Fine. What the fuck?
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
I knew it, that bitch.
Oh no.
With advantage.
Just roofie.
Oh yeah, but wait. Is this an old thing that I earned? Was having advantage on Constitution saving throws
You're a stout
against-
halfling, which might give you some advantage on a very particular type of saving throw.
15. Oh yeah, against poison, right? Fuck.
After just a couple minutes of downing that drink, you just kind of feel weak and like a little lightheaded. Seems like your blood pressure is like really, really low, and if you were to do any strenuous activity, you might just pass out.
That bitch.
But I don't. Burbage doesn't have any
That's
kind of sense of that was like poisoned. For him, it was just like
Probably
a really
not.
strong drink, probably.
Yeah, it just might be a strong drink.
Okay, great, awesome. He's big
Anyway,
enough.
hey, that concludes tonight's episode of Goats and Dragons. If you enjoyed this and are curious to see where the story goes, please follow us on Twitch, where we are simply Helpful Goat, or subscribe on YouTube at Helpful Goat Gaming. We are a small independent game design firm. Could really use your support. If you'd like to know more about us, our streams, our company, or our upcoming projects, you can visit helpfulgoat.com. Follow us on Twitter at HelpfulGoat, or check out our Facebook page at HelpfulGoat. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Give a like and subscribe / follow /
Thanks
download whatever you need to.
And thanks for the
Help us.
bits, Crimson Raven.
And thanks for a ton of the bits. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. We immensely appreciate it. And from all of us on Goats and Dragons, we wish you an excellent evening. Good night, and we love you.
Okay, I didn't know how to take it when he threw that in on the end. I was like,
Missy is our new
Angrily.
nemesis.
We
she's
angrily
not.
love you.
Missy's
Missy
our
is
new bad
fine.
guy. Good night.
She's definitely not.
she's fine. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.